Hello students and welcome to my YouTube channel Learn English with Prakash. Today I am back with another topic, that is analytical paragraph writing, and this is to inform you that story writing in class 10 has been replaced by analytical paragraph writing, and we will discuss main highlights of the topic. First of all, let me tell you what is analytical paragraph writing. An analytical paragraph is a form of descriptive writing which is written on the basis of a given chart, graph, data, outline, cues, table, etc. It requires analysis and comparison of the given facts and drawing conclusion based on the given data. Let us discuss in some detail features of an analytical paragraph writing. It describes the given chart, table, data, graph, cues, etc. It should be brief and comprehensive. It means it should include complete information at the same time. It should state facts that are provided by the chart. It is necessary to make use of simple and accurate language. It means whatever the terms you are using, you should use all terms accurately. No fancy words allowed. Other important features of analytical paragraph writing: it should mention figures and quantities appropriately. It is appropriate to use the same tense throughout the analytical paragraph. No personal observation or response should be provided. It should be preferable to use the passive form of the verb. Here we discuss format, related vocabulary, and technique to create paragraph content. Now let's take a look at format of analytical paragraph writing. An analytical paragraph shall be divided into three parts: introduction, body of the paragraph, conclusion. Introduction should explain in one or two lines the subject of the graph given. Body: explain in detail what the graph is about. Use relevant figures, explain trends, make comparisons and contrast, divide into sub-paragraphs if required. And in conclusion, conclude the paragraph, give an overall view or summary of the graph. Now here we discuss some important tips to be followed while writing analytical paragraph. For an introduction, you can start with the following phrases. The chart given above describes something, something, something. The table suggests this, this, this. The line graph shows something. The data given provides information about ... The pie chart illustrates, etc. For describing trends, use phrases and words like a pattern of growth, rapidly doubled, skyrocketed, striking increase, starting to rise, starting to fall, drop down, etc. For describing quantities, use various style like 48% off, 1/3 off, nearly 1/4 off, almost 80%, majority, on average, twice as much, almost equal, the highest, the lowest, etc. Whereas for establishing a relationship or contrast, use phrases and words like relationship between, in contrast with, in comparison to, but in the opposite case, however, whereas, when it comes to, noticeable difference, etc. For the conclusion and other connecting phrases, use overall, subsequently, in a nutshell, in short, or you can use on the whole, to sum up, etc.
One, go.
Next important thing, that is selecting the correct tenses for analytical paragraph writing. Dear students, it is important to select the correct tenses. Now let's see points to remember. For most visuals, a specific time in the past will be given and you will need to use the past simple tense. If two things took place at the same time, you may use the past continuous tense for one of them. Say for example, while poultry production was rising during this period, there was no change in mutton production. Point number 2, if you use since or recently, it means that you are referring to events that have come up to the present. That means using the present perfect tense. Say for example, the use of the internet has risen enormously since the 1990s. With by, you will often need to use the past perfect or the future perfect tense. Say for example, by the end of the century, the rate of urbanization had doubled. Now we have to look at the breakup of 5 marks. The breakup of 5 marks for the question on analytical paragraph writing in the class 10 as per CBSE guidelines is as follows. Format, text 1 mark. Content, text 2 marks. Expression including grammatical accuracy and spelling, text 2 marks. Total 5 marks. The analytical paragraph writing has to be written in around 100 to 120 words. So, the paragraph must use clear and quick language. So, here is an example to help you understand concept of writing analytical paragraph. Now, let's read the question and try to understand what it says. The graph below gives information about changes in the birth and death rates in New Zealand between 901 and 21. We need to summarize and then we have to make comparison wherever it is necessary. So, the graph given here gives information about the birth and death rates in New Zealand between 1901 and 2101. When you look at the graph, you see x-axis displays years, whereas y-axis displays births and deaths. Hence, on analyzing, you will also see that the green line represents death rates, whereas the blue line represents birth rates. If you look at it, what do we see? That this graph shows the birth and death rates in New Zealand since 1901 till 2001. So, introductory line will be, the graph shows changes in the birth and death rates in New Zealand since 1901 and forecast trends till until 2101. One thing we need to keep in mind that keep the introduction as brief as possible. Now, we need to work upon the body of analytical paragraph. You see here from 1901 to 2001 till present date, what has happened to the graph here? It started at 20,000, slowly and gradually kept on increasing till 66,000 in the year 1961. So this is your analysis. Then you see after that there was a lot of fluctuation. It remained fluctuating between 60 and 50. Then it happened to decline slowly to around 45,000 by the end of the century. So here this graph displays this. This we are going to convert into body paragraph number 1. So what we are going to write is, between 1901 and the present day, the birth rate has been consistently higher than the death rate. It stood at 20,000 at the start of this period and increased to a peak of 66,000 in 1961. Since then, the rate has fluctuated between 65 and 50,000 and it is expected to decline slowly to around 45,000 births by the end of the century. Now let me talk about body paragraph 2. So, when we are planning to write body paragraph number 2, what are we going to do is, again we are going to analyze the graph. So, here we will see the death rate now. Now, what is happening to the death rate? See, look here, the death rate started at 10,000 and it has increased steadily. We can see here till the present time. There is an increase. Looking at this analysis, we are going to draw the second para. So that will be, in contrast, the death rate started below 10,000 and has increased steadily until the present time. This increase is expected to be more rapid between 2021 and 2051, when the rate will probably level off at around 60,000 before dropping slightly in 2101. So this was the analysis that we made looking at the death rate. Fine, students? Now it's the time to conclude whatever we have stated. We have compared the birth and the death rate, how it kept on increasing and how it started decreasing, right? So overall, assumption is going to be, overall, these opposing trends means that the death rate will probably overtake the birth rate in around 2041 and the large gap between two levels will be reversed in the later part of this century. So this is how we are going to write the introduction, body paragraphs and the conclusion of analytical paragraph writing. That's all for today. Hope this video proves to be beneficial for you. Dear students, here you see model answer and I hope that this model answer will help you for writing analytical paragraph. With this we come to an end of this topic. I hope you like the lesson. Thank you for watching this video, and for many more such videos please subscribe my channel Learn English with Prakash. Thank you.